Does anyone have a question? I have a question. Does anyone have a question? I announced the other day, I'll announce it again. We're talking about doing a retreat in Belgium, but I don't make reservations until I really confirm this. People don't start getting plane reservations or anything like that until it's absolutely confirmed that we're going to do this thing. Does anyone have a question? Come on, there's got to be a question.
Hi, Stuart. This is Jan.
Yes, John.
So last week you talked about how the will comes from the mind, but it is driven by the need, by my need, my hunger. Where does my need and hunger come from? Is that karma? Is that the mind? Is that
John, if you're hungry, do you go to the refrigerator and get food? I mean, where does that need come from? I mean, without that inner need to grow spiritually, people spend their lives running on empty. They live their lives based upon how much tension they can project into the world to get the ways that they want to live. The need to have a spiritual life is essential because without that need, understand nobody would do the work that is necessary to do to have a spiritual life. People will do it in just a half-assed way. And where that need comes from, I mean, it's who knows? I mean, it comes from God. It comes from a source of energy that's beyond my understanding. It comes from wanting to connect with, you know, that source of energy which is creating the whole universe. And I cannot, allow myself to think that I am the universe. My ego is the universe. Everything evolves around me. Everything evolves around what I do in my life. We're like a grain of sand on a beach. Each and every human being is like that. And yet, that one grain of sand, honestly, it can contain the entire beach if we learn how to open and instead of, trying to be some image of who we are and what we think we are, attaining a state of nothingness inside, a state of total openness inside to where higher energy can flow through. It nurtures us spiritually, it nurtures us emotionally, and mentally, physically, in every single way, it gives life. But we have to stop keeping this energy from flowing inside us. We're the reason why our tanks run empty. We spend so much time in our heads. And there's this image in human beings where, you know, I'm kind of tired of talking about it. I talk about it all the time. And yet it's really a true thing. I mean, look, when you're physically hungry, you go and eat. If you're spiritually hungry, people don't go and eat. They go to the mind, they go try to figure out life, figure out what the world is all about. And that just consumes a lot more energy instead of opening inside and receiving wisdom, knowledge, energy from the source of all creation, allowing that energy to flow through us and allowing it to create our lives. I mean, it's that energy that has created everything that's magnificent in the world. And it's the human mind that has created war, hunger, problems, people in conflict with each other. people knowing better than each other, people putting each other down. And yet, who can understand this? I don't understand it. All I know is that it works. When I let go of me, there is this force of energy that flows through that nurtures me, that has enabled me to live my life in a way in which I have been in touch with energy that's infinite in the universe. It works through. You become a channel for that energy. It not only you do it when you do meditation, but in everything you do in life, you are a channel for all that creative energy to manifest in the world. And that hunger, that need to grow, where does it come from? I mean, I don't know even what kind of question that is because I don't understand where it comes from. All I know is it works. I mean, I remember Rudy telling me that one of the great problems in life is that people are spiritually, malnourished. And it's true. People run their lives on empty, on tension, on knowing better than other people. They never listen to anybody. They never learn from life, because the need in them is to be more important than everybody else, not to allow other people in life itself to be one's teacher, to grow because of what one learns from life. It's the greatest university in the world. So where does the need come from? It depends on the person entirely. The need could be one to just make money, power. I mean, look at these people that, what they do today, trillionaires and billionaires and gillionaires. And, I mean, it's unbelievable. The need in them, that's where it's focused, is money and power. And one of the craziest things in life is that that's what people worship. I mean, you go and pick up a newspaper, all they talk about is this money and power and war and fighting and control. And that's all they talk about. I mean, when did the last time the New York Times read an article about spiritual development? I can't, I can't believe, So where does the need come from? It comes from within a human being who is literally tired of living on empty, who's tired of, running their life on tension, needing something more profound, deeper, richer, something full of love, something full of gratitude, kindness, something that really touches on the highest levels of one's humanity. When that need is real in a person, spiritual energy will come because then the heart has to be open and that will allow energy to enter us. I mean, without having that kind of a need inside, even before I met Rudy, something in me was really understood, that I had to get in touch with a higher force of energy in the universe. I was never a religious person. I never believed in the dogma of religions, but I knew there was a force that was much higher than myself that I needed to be in touch with. I just, when I was younger, didn't know how to do it. After I met Rudy, I learned how to do it. I knew it. I wanted to write. I knew that the writing had to come from that energy. It didn't have to come from my mind because every time I tried to do it from my mind, it became sterile and boring. And intellectual and, me knowing better than everybody else. When it started coming from a higher source, got richer and deeper and more open and touching on subjects that were magnificent subjects. I mean, even in some of these novels I've written in short stories, the characters come from a higher place. They come from the source of creative energy. And it's what makes a lot of them very interesting. Life itself should be that way. We are nothing more than vehicles through which that energy flows. And it manifests in our lives exactly in accordance to the way we are inside ourselves. If we spend all our time in our heads, if we spend all our time being frightened, unhappy, afraid of the world, afraid of life, that's how it manifests. So look, and I'll just end this with everybody's need is a little bit different. And nobody's need to be with God is going to be absolutely pure. There's always going to be some kind of a spottedness in there, something. But I've said it before, I'll say it again. We need to have those things wrong with us. They make us work deeper on ourselves. Don't complain about having some problems. Be grateful for them because they really make us work to go to a higher place inside ourselves. They often make us tap that need inside to find a state of inner peace, state of quiet, a state of, gratitude with an open heart. So it's the things that are wrong with us that often make us tap the need to grow spiritually. Does anyone else have a question?
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. And I wouldn't worry about where your need comes from. Just work against yourself. And in order to, transcend yourself, you will have to tap a need to touch on a higher energy in the universe. I mean it. That's the way to get there. What's wrong with me? Okay, I got to need something higher to fix it. you know, and it makes us go deeper, get more open, tap a much richer, vaster source of energy than the human mind and emotions can contribute to our life. It really helps us tap that need to grow spiritually.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does
Stuart, I have
anyone
a
else?
question. I have a
Yes.
question.
Who has a question?
Bob Sink has a question. My question is um, that when I go to bed at night, there will be some nights to where it's like,
Bob,
um,
hang on a second. I got to make you a little bit louder here. Yep. Okay, go on.
so there will be some nights to where as I'm going to bed, I can feel uh, um, the resistance inside, and there's that that comes up, and I don't even know what it is, other than I can feel it, and some nights it's very hard to even get sleep, and then I wake up and I know how to I drop the tension, but it's like the mystery of whatever it is I'm working on. uh, um, confuses me. And all I can do is just drop
Well,
it.
Bob, the day you try to stop understanding every time thing is the day you're going to stop being confused. What's the difference? I mean, the fact that you could work through it and find a quiet in yourself and an inner peace, it doesn't matter, what kind of garbage is sweeping down the drain. Why do you have to understand it? I've been doing this 50 years now. I don't understand it. Most of it I don't understand. I do know that my heart is open. I do know there's love inside me. I do know that my mind is quiet. I'm centered inside. I do know that I've mastered this whole sexual energy thing I used to have when I was a kid. Uh, what the actual problems are and trying to figure that what's the difference? What's the difference? Why should we have to know those things? They just clutter us up and make us, a lot more crazy. So I don't think, the problem, Bob, is that whatever happens to you, you got to figure out and understand. And the moment you figure it out and understand it, you bring it down to your level of understanding. And the problem with that is that it might have to do with a much higher level of understanding if you just let go and experience something that maybe is of a transcendental plane that is much higher than the understanding you can bring to it. And on that level of attainment, you could reach a deeper area in your evolution in spiritual practice. You don't have to bring it down to the 5% of life that you understand. I mean, Rudy, I remember once somebody was talking about Mahasiddha or not Lohans. There's 16 Lohans. And Rudy said, well, look, why not open to why, if you see one, they were talking about having seen a vision of this Lohan. And Rudy said, Lohans are like schools of fish. There's 16 of them in the group. You can open to one or you can open to all 16. Because one happens to fit into your consciousness at any given moment. Or right behind there's 15 others with knowledge and wisdom and, incredible spiritual things to impart and to teach us. So instead of just opening to one and bringing it to your level of on the other side of that could be the most profound inner awakening you've ever had in your life. And that'd be cool. And instead of getting into a wrestling match with one level of light, let it all come in. Let the whole school of fish come in. Let all the creative energy in the universe flow through. And let it manifest in the way you live your life. I mean, I think the greatest art is created that way. Even by artists like Van Gogh and these artists that didn't even, they got in front of a canvas and suddenly this stuff comes. They finished the canvas. They didn't even know that they did the painting, just manifested. And that usually produces the greatest art, the greatest music, the stuff on a very high level. But we have to get free of us in order for that energy to come and flow through us. And then it produces, look, I know what it's produced in my life, and it's been something just my mind could have never created it. Still creating it. Not getting any younger here, and it's still have this need to allow this higher force to generate and flow through me and create my life.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome, Bob. Give it a shot, Bob. See if it works. Give it a shot. Leave yourself alone. Really, you're a wonderful guy, Bob. I love you very much. I've known you, my God, it's half a century now. And I remember we used to make stained glass and movies and I mean, you have so much creativity in you, and you probably have tapped maybe 20% of it. I mean it. Does anyone else have a question they would like to?
Stuart, I have not a question at the moment, but I just want to say that if I can help with organizing a retreat in Belgium, I would like to help if it's necessary.
Appreciate it, Paul. There's some things that have come up I have to work out, with
Okay.
doing that's all. Um, I'll tell you what it is, all right? I look, I'm concerned about the financial aspect of it and people in Belgium supporting the financial aspect of it. I really am. And I don't want to put that pressure on anybody. What I'm thinking of, I might do is have a retreat here in New York where, if 10, 15 people come, I can pay my bills, and I can live and then maybe make a trip to Belgium for 4 or 5 days, spend it teaching with people and just keeping it open for people to come. Because I'm concerned that if there's money involved, people get very weird, people get very strange. So maybe do something like that. And then I can go to Greece or Sardinia or, you know, somewhere in the Caribbean or the Mediterranean and take a 2 week vacation, which I really need. I needed it 2 months ago, but I still am looking forward to doing it. So I'm
Mm.
thinking that might be the way to do it. But give me a couple of weeks and we'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah, okay, but contact me if I can help with something or so, then voila, I will
Oh, yeah.
try to
Well,
help.
I remember how generous you and Candace were when I stayed in Brussels. I never forget it. I mean, you gave me your apartment. I mean, it was just a wonderful trip. And
Mm.
I enjoyed it so much being with you. And now you have a little daughter, not so little anymore. She's getting to be big. Who
Yes, Devin.
would, so yeah, we'll work it out, and I'll let you know.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
thank you.
Thanks.
Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, then I also announced that this Tuesday class, when you get the invite, there'll be a class Tuesday. Just check the time, okay? It might be at 2 or 2:15 my time, not the regular time, which is 1 o'clock here, because something has come up that I have to do, and so I want to have the class, but I might have to have it at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon my time, 2:15 maybe the latest. So, I know that it's a little bit later in Europe and in Israel, but please forgive me, okay? We will have a class on Tuesday. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, if not, there'll be class this evening and tomorrow evening and Tuesday. And God bless you all, and thank you. Thank you for being in my life, and thank you for being part of these classes. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody soon. God bless you.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.